NFL insider Ian Rapoport delivered a report that shook Broncos country to its core, a revelation so frustrating that it almost feels designed to torment every Denver fan who has been waiting year after year for the franchise to finally land a true game-changing wide receiver. For 2 full seasons, the Broncos have hovered on the edge of major offensive transformation, constantly circling around elite pass catchers, constantly inching close to deals that would have shifted the entire direction of the franchise, and yet time after time the team has watched opportunity slip through its fingers. The frustration began long before this latest report, and it has only grown stronger with each missed chance. Over the past couple of years, Denver has been connected to playmakers like Jalen Waddle, Cooper Kupp, and Deebo Samuel, all of them explosive, all of them potentially franchise-defining, and all of them ultimately wearing someone else's uniform. Fans have watched these rumors rise and fall, hoping for a breakthrough, only to be left with the same familiar disappointment. This pattern resurfaced yet again when news broke that the Broncos attempted to trade for Jalen Waddle at the deadline and failed. This left the fan base deflated and confused, wondering how the team could repeatedly swing for the fences without ever making real contact. But according to Ian Rapoport, the Waddle situation was only the beginning, and the latest revelation hits even harder. Rapoport revealed that the Broncos finished second in the bidding war for free agent wide receiver Stefon Diggs during the 2025 offseason, losing out only to the New England Patriots, who ultimately secured him with a heavy multi-year contract. At the time, the move appeared risky because Diggs was coming off a major knee injury, and his age raised questions about durability, explosiveness, and long-term value. Even some Broncos fans were relieved, thinking that perhaps Denver had avoided paying star money for a player who might not look like his former self anymore. However, all of those doubts have evaporated because Stefon Diggs has exploded back onto the field with one of the most impressive comeback seasons in recent memory. Teaming up with rising superstar quarterback Drake May, Diggs has become the engine of the Patriots' offense and one of the most dominant players in the league. He has delivered multiple games with over 100 receiving yards strung together, weeks with touchdowns, and built the kind of instant chemistry with his young quarterback that franchises dream of. He has already recorded 59 receptions for 659 yards, showcasing elite route running, contested catch ability, and a knack for finding separation, even against the toughest coverage schemes. For the Broncos, the painful part is not just that Diggs is flourishing in New England, but that Denver was right there at the finish line, inches away from bringing in the very talent the team now so desperately lacks. This is the closest the franchise has ever come to securing the kind of wide receiver who could instantly elevate a young offense and completely shift defensive game plans across the league. And now the team must watch from the outside as Diggs dominates week after week for someone else. This sting becomes even sharper when you look at what has been happening in Denver over the last few games. Defenses have started to clamp down on Cortland, Sutton bracketing him with extra coverage, forcing the Broncos to turn heavily toward Troy Franklin. The results have been inconsistent and often frustrating. Whether Bo Nix is missing throws or Franklin is struggling to finish plays, the passing attack has lacked rhythm, explosiveness, and dependability. The Broncos do not have a receiver on the roster who can consistently win one-on-one matchups or force defenses to shift their entire structure. That is exactly where Stefon Diggs would have made the difference. His ability to beat man coverage, zone coverage, and bracket coverage, his ability to turn contested balls into guaranteed completions, and his ability to instantly elevate the quarterback would have reshaped the entire identity of this offense. With Diggs on the field, Courtland Sutton would have more space, Troy Franklin would have less pressure, and opposing defenses would face challenges they currently do not fear. Instead, the Broncos are left with the knowledge that they came painfully close to solving their biggest offensive weakness. Rapoport's report is not simply a news update. It is a reminder of how different this season could look. It is a reminder that Denver had a real path to acquiring one of the most reliable receivers in the league, and that the opportunity slipped away at the last moment. For Broncos fans, it is another chapter in a long story of almost deals, almost solutions, and almost breakthroughs. But it also raises questions about the future and whether Denver can finally break this cycle and land the elite talent it has been pursuing for years. Because right now, the gap between what the Broncos have and what they could have had has never felt wider.